Here we go.
At my signal, unleash hell.
God bless the geek.
Rules. We don't think so.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Geek Speak Show.
Please make a note of it.
This is the show where you hear everything geek culture.
Have you noticed we've been sharing our culture with you all morning?
Talking movies, comics, video games, TV shows, all from a geek point of view.
People who get it, get it.
If it's geek, we'll speak about it here on the Geek Speak Show. Here are your hosts, Henry and Romo. I don't think so. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Geek Speak Show. Where did he go? Well,
He's
I have
still
Violet.
gone.
She looks better, at least. Yeah, we saw Romo for a little bit. You guys saw him. Go to our YouTube page. He's there. Funny how he always shows up to all the free stuff. You know, like in a couple of weeks, we're getting ready for WonderCon. Oh, I'll be there for that show. When summer's coming up, you get all the Avengers, all the movies for free. Oh, I'll be there for that. Well, when it's just a regular show that you guys all love, he's never here. Oh well, but we are. Violet's here. Hi.
Hi, I'm here.
We missed you at Image.
I know.
Yeah, just finished Image Expo over the weekend. We had a lot of fun. You guys go on our YouTube page, Geek Speak Videos, and everybody's on there. Todd McFarlane, Chris Hardwick. Who else did we talk to? Producer Damien. We missed you too. You weren't there. Well, you actually went to the. Here, let me turn your mic on. That would help, huh?
There you go. It actually would, Henry.
No, but you actually went to the Cartoon Art Museum. Andrew Farago, good friend of the show. They had a little, what did they call it?
Well, they had a 20th anniversary get together for Image, and so,
which, by the way, let's plug that. It's actually an exhibit. It wasn't just a one night thing. It's going on right now at the Cartoon Art Museum here in San Francisco. You can go to their website, cartoonart.org. It's all on there. But who and what did you see there? He was rubbing shoulders with all the rich and famous.
I mean, you just met, just came across a few up and coming artists, some artists who are new on Image.
Well, wait a second. Robert Kirkman's not an up and coming artist.
Oh no, I'm not talking about him. But
He's like, I'm saving him for later.
Yeah,
save the best for last.
But Robert Kirkman was there, and he was there. He was mingling, and Jim Valentino was there, and obviously Mr. Andrew Farago and a few up and coming artists out of Image were there as well. So it was actually a pretty good gathering.
Free food, huh?
Yeah, it was free
That's
food.
why he was there. I knew there was a reason why he was there.
It was free food.
I missed out on a lot.
Yeah. See, when we were looking for our geek girl, I told you that you get it. It's an unpaid position. None of us get paid, and even if we did, we weren't going to tell you anyway. But you do get a lot of good perks here on this show, which is all the stuff we love anyway for free. WonderCon, Comic-Con, movies, TV shows. Well, TV shows are free anyway, unless you go to cable or something. But you know what I mean. A lot of cool perks with this show. Speaking of this show, we're done with Image. Quick recap. You guys weren't there. I was. I could use Romo now, but of course not here. It was
free right here.
Yeah, celebrating like Damien said, celebrating 20 years of Image Comics. 20 years ago, actually probably a little longer than that. They had to plan it first. 7 artists, really not just whatever artists, but really big artists. Todd McFarlane was there. Jim Lee. All these guys were from Marvel, and DC. They said, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going home. But they didn't really go home. They actually went and started their own company, Image Comics. 20 years later, you have titles like Spawn, Walking Dead, Chew. One of the biggest success stories, and right here in our backyard in Berkeley, and like on our YouTube page, Todd McFarlane talks about it. He's joking about it, but hopefully it doesn't come true. He said, it took us 20 years to create our own convention. Let's hope in another 20 years we don't do the second one. So hopefully it'll become an annual event. This year was pretty packed, probably because there's no WonderCon here in San Francisco. There is WonderCon, but it's in Anaheim, not in San Francisco. It
was interesting because a lot of people actually did say who were there. They looked at it as being WonderCon.
Yeah, well, ironic, and then that's also up on the YouTube page. I was talking to Chris Hardwick about this. I told him the story. I told you guys, I've said it on the air many times, where when Joe Field and everybody was still in charge of WonderCon, before it was WonderCon, it was the Wonderful World of Comics back then. It used to take place in the Oakland Convention Center. It wasn't here in San Francisco. It was there. My first convention was right there. You guys in the studio here, look over there. That poster is from that. It was Spider-Man's bachelor party. In the comic books, he was getting married to Mary Jane. And I got so excited, kind of like what I was telling Violet over here when we go to WonderCon. It's going to be your first convention, I'm assuming?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you like, especially the Hello Kitty stuff. They do have them there. Don't get crazy because this will happen to you. I did. Bought comics, bought everything. Then I had no BART fare.
But I'm not just buying for me. I got to buy for like family members,
even more.
coworkers. It's like too
at
much.
least you're going in the official Geek Speak show
Yeah, she's gonna be
vehicle.
buying me a lot of stuff.
Like a lot of Hello Kitty.
No, he means
Like
food.
a backpack.
He just bought Romo's. I don't think he uses it anymore. No, but Image Expo, it was fun. It felt like a real comic convention. Not a lot of the Hollywood stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of the Hollywood stuff was not there. It was actual real comic book fans and artists and people from Image, of course. But a lot of independent artists were there also showing off their stuff. Really cool people. Again, going on our YouTube, they're all on there for you. So it was a lot of fun. Hopefully, like Todd McFarlane said, hopefully it won't be another 20 years before we do the second one. We'll probably do it hopefully it becomes an annual event. So had a lot of fun at the Image Expo. Thanks to everybody who helped us out over there. Now, the sort of big one. Getting ready for WonderCon. That's in a couple of weeks as we speak. So here's what we're going to do. Today is going to be the last quote-unquote normal show. I don't know what consider the normal show, but today's going to be the last time we do a normal show. We'll have, the comic commentary. David Lee will tell you something about comics. That's what's called the commentary. We'll talk about the book club. We'll do a Romo report. He's kind of MIA again, so I don't know if we're going to hear from him or not. But if we do, you'll hear that. Couple of cats. Two cats. Two guys, actually, not actual cats, but two guys. They have a new store in San Francisco. Ironically, I had to go all the way across the bay to find them. They're here in San Francisco, just opened up in November. Two Cats Comic Book Store, 320 West Portal Avenue here in San Francisco. TwoCatsComicBookStore.com. Spell it out. You don't have to put two or anything. What's up on our link section? Christian and Corey. We're going to talk to them in just a little bit about a cool new store if you're here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Yes, producer Damon and I have talked about it before, and so has Romo. A lot of stores, including some that were friends of the show, have closed, unfortunately. But they're gonna try. They're gonna give it a try. They're pretty cool guys. You'll see when they're a lot of fun. You'll hear it when we talk to them. Jamie Benning, name you've heard on the show before. He finally completed rating the Lost Ark, all 2.5 hours of it. filmumentary.com is the website. Up in our link section, it's all on there. And on our Facebook, I have a link. You can watch all 2.5 hours. You got 2.5 hours to kill. Sit down, watch it. You'll enjoy it. And just got a press release that the Indiana Jones Blu-rays are coming out later this year. Of course, it doesn't include Jamie's, but it should. But that's just me talking. So we'll talk to that later on. But before we do, let me start teasing all of you. We're getting ready for WonderCon. Producer Damien will be there. Violet will be there. Roma will be there, of course.
Finally.
I will be there. Our other guest booker, Michelle, and segment producer, she will be there. I will be there. Microphones will be there. We'll all be there. In Anaheim. I know. No, not San Francisco. Everybody's upset. But yeah, you had your image, so there you go. But at WonderCon, we just got the programming, when was it? A couple days ago, I think. We're all making our plans. You two over there fighting over who's going to see what panel. Just real quick, what's one that you're really looking at that you really, really want to take part in?
What I really, really want to do?
Yes.
I
want to know because it's your first comic convention that you go to.
I saw Snow White and the Huntsman, and I didn't even know they were going to be there.
Yeah, see, so a lot of surprises. You can just go to wondercon.org. It's up on there. It's in our link section or in our likes on our Facebook page. They're all on there. But here on the Geek Speak show, what we're going to do is go back, way back. Not really. No, what we're going to do is the next 2 weeks is going to be, we're going to call it the warm-up to WonderCon show. It's a two-parter because we're just going to have as many people as we can. Spoke to Jeff Loeb, name that producer Damon over there is familiar with. Jeff Loeb has been on before. They're going to be there. I won't tell you. I'll let him break the news for you. We're going to talk to everybody that's going to be there, exhibitors, panelists, whatever you call them. People that will be doing panels, we'll talk to them. They'll tease you. They'll tell you, hey, if you haven't got your tickets yet, we're going to show you this, so you better be here for that. WonderCon.org, if you haven't gotten your passes, you got a couple of weeks left. Go and get them. They're still there, maybe. Last I heard, they're pretty close to get selling out. Help, I'm Alive. They've been on many times before. We'll be on again, talk to you about that stuff. Can't do WonderCon without hearing from David Glanzer. So David Glanzer, will have him on either next week or the week of WonderCon. So be ready for all of that. So everybody ready to do a show?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's why we're here, right?
I think so.
We're not just here because we like each other's company. Well, that too, but... All right, fine. Let's take a break. We'll do a show. We'll talk... let's go across the pond, as they say. Let's go to the UK and talk to Jamie Benning. That's up next on The Geek Speak Show.
The Geek Speak Show will be right back.
The Geek Speak Show can be found on the web at thegeekspeakshow.com. Learn more about Henry and Romo. Find links to the guests, content providers, sponsors, and more. You'll also find the Geek Speak Show book club and links to the show's social pages. Oh yeah, the contest page is there too. I mean, you want free stuff, right? Go to thegeekspeakshow.com and mark it on your browser. You'll thank us later. Thegeekspeakshow.com, the official page of the Geek Speak Show.
Get ready to speak geek on The Geek Speak Show.
Hello, we're back on the Geek Speak Show. Okay, so as we start getting ready for WonderCon, again, we tease it, we'll talk a little bit about it at the end of the show, what's going to happen, who we're going to see, who we're all looking forward to seeing. As I was doing that during this little break, look what came over the wires.
What?
Press release.
For
Who's that right there? If Adventure has a name,
Indiana Jones.
must be Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, the trilogy, actually all four of them. I mean, the fourth one, Crystal Skull. That one's already on Blu-ray, so it doesn't nothing to get excited about. But the original three, the good ones, we'll call them that with the good ones, they're coming on Blu-ray. They are coming. When are they coming? Haven't even read the whole thing yet, but the fall of 2012 is all it says. Not an exact date, but the complete Indiana Jones Blu-ray collection coming from Lucasfilm and Paramount. And I got this from one of our content providers, Collider.com, and look what they mention right here. Matt Goldberg says, if Lucasfilm and Paramount Home Media Distribution were smart, they would throw in Jamie Benning's unofficial Raiders of the Lost Ark filmumentary called Raiding the Lost Ark. But unfortunately, that probably will never happen. So, getting a lot of love all over the internet and everywhere else. Jamie Benning back again on the Geek Speak Show. Hey, Jamie.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing good. So, like I said, you're getting mentioned a lot today because we're getting this press release that they're coming on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's good news that they're coming on Blu-ray. As you said, the fourth one, we can kind of ignore that, generally.
What fourth film? There was a fourth film?
Exactly. But yeah, it's good news. It'd be nice to see them in HD, and hopefully they go down the path of Spielberg's wishes, which is to keep his films in their original form, untouched on Blu-ray, as he's hoping to do with E.T. and Jaws. So fingers crossed it's a good release.
Yeah, speaking of Steven, the last time we had you on when you were almost done with it, you mentioned that you were going to talk to Ed Vero, and he was going to contact Steven. Did you hear from Steven?
No, he contacted both Steven and he contacted Kathleen Kennedy, Spielberg's longtime producer, but unfortunately he didn't get a response at all, which he thought was probably a no. So he declined an interview. He was very straightforward about it, and we had a few emails to and fro, and he talked about some of his experiences on the film, but just didn't want to give me an audio interview. So in the end, he didn't get included on the final piece, which was a shame. But I think perhaps Stephen does know about my project by now.
Hopefully. I mean, they're saying that Paramount should be smart about it. So we heard that you're working, or you're almost done working on the Jaws project?
No, I'm just starting that, actually.
So how long after Raiding the Ark did you decide to get into this?
Quicker than my girlfriend wanted. I finished, February, wasn't it? Raiding was out, so that was almost a year to the day that Star Wars Begins was released. So I thought that there seemed to be a lot of momentum behind Jaws, and I was contacted by a big collector called Jim Bella, who runs JawsCollector.com, and he basically said he could provide me with loads of stuff, some that was very rare, some that was unseen, and I'm currently awaiting a package in the mail to that effect. So that kind of spurred me on, and then I found out the news that Jaws is being released in the fall as well, on Blu-ray. I think it's August mid-August somewhere. So I'm going to kind of have to pull my finger out, as we say over here, and get the job done. And unfortunately, I've got my very busy period of work coming up soon, so I'm really going to have to work hard to get it done. But I did manage to get a couple of hours on the iMac today and edited a few pieces together. So it's beginning to take some shape, but it's going to be a while yet.
Now, you all remember Jamie Benning from Star Wars Begins. That was the first time we had him on the show, and that was the first time he really made a big splash all over the world. Really, and then Raiding the Lost Ark. Raiding the Lost Ark, yeah, you actually got a little more complicated with this one, but what I mean by that is you had more interviews with people that were actually involved in the production of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Do you plan on doing the same thing for Jaws, or have you gone that far into planning?
It's certainly in the planning. Hopefully I'm going to be given some of these contact details by this very same guy, Jim Bella, and hopefully we'll go down that route again. The problem that I have is that I'm in the UK and a lot of them are in the US, and I was quite fortunate with Raiding. As far as Mark Mangini was concerned, the sound editor guy, he was able to record his interview, my interview with him locally, and send me very high quality files. And the other ones I did with Wolf Kahler and Brian Muir, they were done using some quite primitive equipment at my end, because they fortunately live in the UK. So, given that Jaws was done by a completely American crew, and many of the extras were people that lived in Martha's Vineyard, some of them are no longer with us. I think that could be a bit more of a stretch to achieve this time, but I'm certainly going to head down that path and see where it takes me.
Now, on your website, filmumentary.com, which is up in our links section, you can go on there and not only take a look at what Jamie's been doing, but also you can it's also on our Facebook. It's definitely on filmumentary.com. The complete Raiding the Lost Ark. The last time we had you on, you only had about a quarter of it done. Have you settled on a title yet for the Jaws one?
Yeah, I think inside Jaws, it seems to go with this kind of building empire and returning to Jedi, and it seemed to be a word that sort of fits into that kind of feeling. So yeah, inside Jaws for now, and I quite like the little cover that Drew Stewart, a guy known as 005 on Twitter, put up. He put a nice little shot of Bruce the shark sitting there in the warehouse with his side on show and his innards on show. So it kind of seems to fit the title quite nicely. So and I do have both Drew and a friend of mine, Pete Starling, who did the really nice Raiding poster that included me in it next to Indiana Jones. He's working on one for Jaws for me at the moment, so it's all moving along. It's great because having made all these contacts now, people are more willing to get involved, and having made all these contacts online with sites like yourselves and Collider and Movies.com and people on Twitter, these things have a momentum. So this is the first time that I've kind of felt a little bit more pressure than before. So. But I'm not going to let it get to me.
See what we got you into. You have you on here now. The whole world is expecting, big, huge production out of you.
Well, each time I do these things, I want to make sure that I'm moving up a step. So with Star Wars Begins, I just felt it was better put together in sort of better production values than the other two. And then with Raiding, because I had interviews that I did myself and it was in HD, that was another step up. With this one, I think hopefully with the help of a couple of the guys that worked with me on Raiding, we're going to do some more animations of photos and, kind of concept drawings and schematics and all that kind of stuff. They're the things that really take a long time because, ultimately I'm relying on the goodwill of other people, and like me, they have regular jobs and relationships and things. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you can tell Jamie knows what he's talking about when it comes to the tech. So because of that, and you mentioned it many times on the show before, you actually do work in TV, and you worked in 3D in TV. You got to see actually episode 1 in 3D. What did you think?
This is where you insert the sound effect of somebody vomiting. It was like the 1999 release of the film. It was again a huge disappointment. To be honest with you, I've not seen the film a great deal since then. I've owned it on DVD, and I bought the Blu-ray box set when it was released in September, purely for a review that I did for Wired Geek Dad online. And yeah, we sat there in one of the best cinemas in the West End in London. Me, my friend Matt Jacobson, who reviews films for the BBC on the radio, and a guy, Nathan Barry from Geek Dad Wired. And, within 10 minutes, you could feel between the three of us and probably from quite a few people in the room that, that those feelings had returned, those feelings we experienced back in 1999 of, what the hell is that crawl all about? What's this trade embargo, and why is she speaking in that funny voice? And wow, isn't that just racist? And all those things. But instead of being shocking, it was just incredibly dull, and I didn't actually last the whole film. My friend and I, Matt, decided we would hang on until the end of the pod race, because that was always the bit that we felt had some kind of redeeming features, but even that is just really poor filmmaking. There's, at least with the trench run, you get involved emotionally with the characters, and there's some good dialogue, even if it's short things. Stay on target and all those things. But the pod race is just empty. It's just dead. It's boring, and it's so dull. And as we walked out, there must have been another 6 or 7 people stumbling out as well, just making noises like, ugh, And,
actually, Jimmy, you touched on something that I'd never asked you before, but I've actually brought up with other people on the show, and that is the prequels. They were okay, except episode 1. They were okay, but I think the fact that we as the audience weren't as invested in the characters as we were with the original trilogy was because we knew Obi-Wan wasn't going to die, Anakin wasn't going to die, because we know when Darth Vader dies. So even though like in the pod race, Sebulba's not going to destroy him or crash him into the wall or anything, because he grows up to be Darth Vader. Is that why you think we didn't have the same? It didn't have the same emotional punch that the original trilogies had.
Yeah, I think just purely from a writing point of view, that the dialogue isn't there, and the exposition in the original trilogy, there's little hints to things that might have gone on in the past. When Luke talks about, when he's in Dagobah, and he talks about there's something familiar about this place, like something out of a dream. And I kind of imagined as a kid, oh, maybe he was there before, when he got placed on Tatooine, maybe they stopped off to see Yoda. And whereas in the prequel trilogy, everything is just a big red arrow saying, right, this is where he came from, this is where he was made. And it just didn't have that kind of intrigue. Boba Fett was one of the most mysterious characters of the original trilogy, and he gets completely defined. It's like, these days when people have a question, they don't sit and wonder about it. They just go onto Google and find out the answer. And that's what the prequels felt like to me. It just felt like people were given the answers to everything, and the answers just weren't satisfying for me. For all I know, the pod race could have been the reason that Anakin turned to the dark side. The fact is, it was just an ill-conceived film, and it was a backstory, and then we had more backstory to the backstory, which it just seemed pointless to me. And I think you could have condensed all of that down into one film, but unfortunately, I don't even think that would have been a good film. In fact, if your listeners want to have a look, I can make a recommendation. There's a guy called what's it called? There's a guy who wrote a prequel treatment.
The Phantom Edit.
No. He wrote a treatment of the film, of what we can expect. This was written in 1995, and he took all of the original elements of the original films and wondered what they might be hinting towards. His name is John L. Flynn, and if you just type John L. Flynn and Star Wars online, you'll come across an article where he sort of goes through and surmises what might happen and predicts what might happen. And it's far more intriguing and interesting and cleverly written than anything in the prequels, unfortunately.
I would agree with the both of you, though. Coming from this generation, when I first watched the prequel trilogy, and then I watched the ones you guys grew up with, you feel a lot more for those characters. Like you're much more into it than I felt I was when I watched the prequel. Because the first ones I had watched was the prequel trilogy.
Really? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Yeah, I mean, I've not really spoken to many people that have grown up with the prequels. It's quite interesting to hear that perspective. But you think that the original trilogy just holds a bit more depth?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, I understand that for my generation, the prequel trilogy, I guess we would say, has, honestly, just to say, a better looking cast to look at, in my opinion.
Yep.
But I did feel a lot
What's wrong with Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford?
Exactly.
But
we're going to get homoerotic now.
but I felt a lot more for the characters when I had watched the ones like my parents grew up with.
Yeah.
And why they walked out kind of not the same way I did when I was like probably 12 or
with
something.
our mouths open.
I think a lot of this comes down to that old thing about producing something through adversity. And the Star Wars trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy, they had problems with the first film, and what a fantastic film they ended up with. And had they been able to do everything that George wanted, then maybe we would have ended up with a film more like the prequels. So now he's in a position to do everything he wants. We can see the results.
Which isn't always a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, well, have a look at. I think it's on Red Letter Media's last review of the prequels. He puts shots of the prequels side by side with shots from the original trilogy, and it's just like chalk and cheese. They're so different. They're bad and they're good.
Yeah, so we'll always have every real Star Wars fan. Somewhere in your house you do have a VHS, a VCR, and a VHS copy of the originals. Somewhere you do put them in just to see what we do. You're laughing over there, but we really do, because there Han shot first. There was no Jabba the Hutt, and none of that stuff that he put in. It's our Star Wars.
That was the other thing, wasn't it? Recently, that George is now saying that
it was a mistake.
It was always the case.
Yeah.
It's just we didn't know who shot first because it was shot in close up.
Yeah.
What's he talking about? In which case, the comic was also wrong, and the novel, and the script, and it's got to the point now where he's believing his own hype.
Yeah,
and it's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, so again, Jamie Benning, director, rating the Lost Ark. www.filmumentaries.com is the website. You can go up on our links. It's all on there. His Twitter, his Facebook, everything is on there. On our Facebook, I also have a link. It's also up on filmumentaries.com, but I have a link to the entire rating the Lost Ark if you haven't had a chance to see it. If you haven't, go there. You will love it. So, Jamie, when are you going to start? When do you plan on starting Jaws? I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but when do you think you'll finish the Jaws one?
I'd really like to get it done for around the time of the Blu-ray release.
Okay.
Which is in August.
Yeah, August.
It's not that long now, but it depends on how my real job goes. I've got a kind of promotion kind of thing lined up this season. I work on the Formula One racing.
Yeah. So we got to say that every time you come on, you got to remind people you're not doing this for profit. This is just for fun. Just for a love of these movies. You're not selling DVDs or anything like that.
No, I'm yet to make a single penny out of these, and that's the way I'm going to keep it. If some work comes my way because people like what they've seen, then fair enough. But directly, nothing has entered my pocket to do with these, and they're purely just my kind of love letters to the films that I enjoy. So hopefully people will see them as that.
If you had some smart people at Lucasfilm, Gene would have a job at Lucasfilm.
You never know. Well, I've been told in the past by people that work on magazines to do with Star Wars and authors of books and things that you should never, diss Star Wars publicly because you'll never get a job. But then Simon Pegg has done nothing but slag off the prequels for 15 years or however long it's been, 12 years. And he's just got a job voicing Dengar in the Clone Wars cartoon. So, maybe that day will come, but I'm not banking on it.
But it's okay because he's Scotty now in Star Trek.
Yes, exactly. He's gone to the other side.
So okay, Jamie Benning rating the Lost Ark, the completed one, up on filmumentaries.com, on our Facebook page also there. Just go to our link section. It's all on there for you. Jamie, thanks a lot for coming on. You're welcome back anytime. Probably we'll have you back when you complete or you're half complete with Jaws.
Anytime. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, you too, Jamie. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
The Geek Speak Show will be right back.
The Geek Speak Show can be found on the web at thegeekspeakshow.com. Learn more about Henry and Romo. Find links to the guests, content providers, sponsors, and more. You'll also find the Geek Speak Show book club and links to the show's social pages. Oh yeah, the contest page is there too. I mean, you want free stuff, right? Go to thegeekspeakshow.com and mark it on your browser. You'll thank us later. Thegeekspeakshow.com, the official page of the Geek Speak Show.
Playing the music you're not ashamed to admit you listen to. This is the show where you hear everything geek culture. This is now the Geek Speak Show.
It is the Geek Speak Show. Welcome back. Rating the Lost Ark. Thanks, Jamie Bennett, again. All the way out in the UK, all across the pond, as they say. Thanks to Jamie Bennett. It's up on our Facebook page, the entire 2.5 hour behind-the-scenes filmumentary, as he calls it, is all on there for you. And, again, perfect timing. Announcement just came out, press release just came out this morning. Indiana Jones, all of them, including, the fourth one, all of them coming to Blu-ray. So... let's go back again. Damien and I, we were talking about this as the show began. Image Comic Expo. I got to see Romo for once. He's not here today, but I got to see him. But especially really, really cool. We met a couple of guys there, Two Cats, and that's actually the name of their store, Two Cats Comic Book Store. It's a new store here in San Francisco. They opened back in November. Grand opening is coming up. And on the phone, we have Christian and Corey. Hey, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hey, hello.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing real well. How you doing?
We're doing good.
I'm feeling fully caffeinated.
Yeah. So before we get into anything else, tell us the story of Two Cats Comic Book Store.
The story. It was a dark and stormy night.
So like today, actually.
Indeed, in the city, it's like 2 out of 3 chances.
It's raining two cats and dogs.
Yeah, Corey and I used to... we worked together at a store called Things from Another World in the Metreon in San Francisco. And it was basically a corporate comic book store in the sense that it's a chain, and they've got a bunch of stores. They've got some stores in California and some stores in Oregon. And the whole time Corey and I were working there, basically we were butting our heads against the corporate system, if you will. And we were thinking that there might be better ways of doing things. So we've both loved comic book stores, and we've been to a lot of comic book stores, and we thought maybe when we get a chance we should open one of our own.
Yeah, and ironically, you guys just mentioned Caffeinated a minute ago. Some of the stores here in San Francisco, Caffeinated Comics is one that comes to mind. Al's store. What was another one that we had? Oh, Neon Monster is another one. They closed down last year. When you saw all that happening, what made you guys still want to open yours?
Because they were closing.
There's a void fill. There's a power vacuum that's created when when a lot of stores, especially ones that close as abruptly as a lot of those did. Like Al's has been in the city for decades.
Yeah.
And but I mean, they've still got a lot of customers. They've still got a lot of people who are going to need their comic book needs filled elsewhere.
And that would be us. And also we have a lot of experience in the industry, and so we feel like we can remain viable and stay viable and bring, a 21st century mentality to the comic book business.
Yeah, and again, the name of the store is Two Cats Comic Book Store, 320 West Portal Avenue in San Francisco. TwoCatsComicBookStore.com, all spelled out. You don't have to put in the number 2, all spelled out. TwoCatsComicBookStore.com, or easier for you, it's up on the link section. Just go there. The little logo, the cool little logo that they have, Two Cats, makes sense. Just click it, takes you right to the website.
So for the viewers,
come visit us, buy some comics.
Yeah, it's a cool place. We were there actually the other day.
So for the viewers, we're just
cool
wondering,
seeing you guys here.
Why the name Two Cats Comic? If you could just let them know.
Why? Everyone always asks us that, and there's
why ask why?
There's a lot of meaning and no meaning at all behind it.
The funniest part, though, is that I'm actually allergic to cats, like very allergic to cats.
So when people are like, "Where are the cats?" It's either us, we're the two cats, or the cats are at home. So that basically, I'm really bad at coming up with names, and so Corey and I basically spent when we were talking about getting it together, we spent maybe a month shooting ideas back and forth, and my ideas generally suck. And one day I was kind of looking at my cats sleeping on the couch, and I'm like, that's kind of a not bad idea. So that's basically it. And I've vetted it for another month with some friends, and they were like, okay. So there it is.
So yeah, again, it's two cats. Yeah.
On the other hand, we were trying to come up with names like that would be evocative of a comic book store, and so we kind of swung really hard in the direction of like nerdy or geeky. Like I think I at one point suggested Earth Clan comic. I wasn't any better at coming up with names, but it was kind of like we didn't want to alienate people. You know, we didn't want, like in The Simpsons, the android's dungeon. Yeah. You know, we wanted people to be able to walk by and be like, oh, two cats. That sounds like the kind of place I could hang out and not have to wear an elaborate mask.
And you know what else? You know what? You also get, pet lovers that they walk by and it's like, hey, two cats, let me go in here.
Like accidentally, and next thing they know, they bought like 4 graphic novels, and they're like, what the heck just happened?
And they bought that.
You met Eva, that's what happened.
Or we three.
Oh, sadness.
Yeah, and as you say in your on your website and the little flyer that we got at Image Expo, it's not just comic books or graphic novels. It's everything, right? Tell everybody what you can see in the store.
Kind of a jack of all trades store. We moved into a place that was called Just Awesome Games. They were like a board game specialization store. So we've actually started to really stock up on our board game amounts in order to like kind of, because when people come in and they still are like, oh, is this a board game store still? It's like, no, but we've got plenty of those. Our focus is actually on graphic novels. So if you come in, you'll find a lot of like collected editions. You'll find a lot of trade paperbacks. You'll find a lot of stuff like that. I mean, we've got Magic cards, we got Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, like
a wall of T-shirts.
Yeah, huge wall of T-shirts, which you saw some of at Image Expo. Let's see. I had something else in my head.
We've got some games too, which we're geeking out really hard right now about Risk Legacy. I'm just obsessed.
Yeah,
and we've transferred this obsession to the employees.
And you guys also have toys, or as we call them, action figures. They're not really toys.
Yes, we have those. We've got collectibles. We've got tabletop stuff, like tabletop role-playing stuff, like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. So like you said, a little bit of everything. You also got some pretty cool books that you had actually at Image Expo, and it's in the store now. That's the one that I really like, and you guys can go there, 320 West Portal Avenue, those of you that are here in the San Francisco Bay Area. That is the Millennium Falcon. What is it? The manual?
Owner's manual.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like written in fiction. That right there is perfect. And by the way, we're talking to Christian and Corey. They are from Two Cats Comic Book Store, newest comic book store in San Francisco. Again, 320 West Portal Avenue. Just go to our link section. It's all up on there for you. Yes, they are this fun. The way they sound this fun on the phone, that's the way they are in person. They'll even make balloon animals for you guys. You will, right? Oh, absolutely. Come in, we'll juggle. We won't do any of these things well, but we'll do them.
Yeah.
And you have to bring your own balloons.
Yeah, I didn't say they were great. I just said they would do it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all going to look like amorphous blobs. If what you want is an anemone, we've got that.
Yeah.
If what you want is a coral reef, we've got that.
You've got a snake or worm.
Yeah, we can make the hell out of that balloon animal.
Yeah, so see, why wouldn't you go in there? Not just the comics, but everything else. Extras. No charge. Except for a smile.
Conversation's free.
Yeah. So like you guys said, you guys work at TFAW and Things from Another World that all of you may remember from that was in the Metro. Really cool store. You find some of the stuff in Two Cats Comic Book Store. From what you guys, this time that you spent there, what did you learn from there? The mistakes I would say that you're not going to repeat here.
Oh dear. What can we say that doesn't get us in this slander country?
Right.
You can change the names to protect the innocent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're very customer focused. We're more concerned about what the customers want than what we want to sell them. So we have a running joke that we started when we first opened the store, and it keeps coming back. But it's also true, as we say, it's not about our ego; it's about the store. So, like that.
And I mean, it's interesting because I mean, with any corporate job, you're going to have a middleman. You're going to have like a bureaucracy. And it's just been interesting to work not without that, because even here there's still some bureaucracy. You know, we got banks to deal with, we've got all this other stuff to deal with, but we are so much more free now. Like, we don't have to run ideas past any but each other, basically.
Anarchy!
Yeah.
No, actually, I know exactly what you're talking about, believe it or not, because I've never worked at a comic book store. I've gone to many, but here in radio. You know, I've always been in different radio stations, and obviously it's very corporate there also. Now that I'm doing this show, you know, we make the calls here. We can take vacation whenever we want. We can basically you're the boss. That's what it is. Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. I have worked in retail many years ago, and you know, I've seen
not that old.
Seeing the ins and outs as far as like how to deal with the independent business and things like that. Nowadays, with comic books going digital, what are some of those challenges that you're planning to face or are able to come up against? Like, what are some of your answers to that? Because nowadays, a lot of people are going more towards digital when it comes to comics.
DC has basically found that the same customers that are buying digital comics are also buying the floppies. So they're not really losing business by going into digital. And what that means is that basically people are still buying comics. It isn't really an obstacle. If anything, it helps sell comics and it raises the visibility.
Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wondering. Again, we're talking to Christian and Corey from Two Cats Comic Book Store in San Francisco, the newest comic book store in San Francisco, 320 West Portal Avenue, 94127 if you guys want to map it or put it in your GPS. TwoCatsComicBookStore.com is the website. Spell it out loud. You don't need to put in twos or get fancy. It's just plain old simple, TwoCatsComicBookStore.com. You guys have a lot of events coming up, specifically March 31st, grand opening. Talk about that. Woo!
It's a big one.
Or did I make it sound bigger than what you guys have planned?
Hopefully I'll have gotten rid of this cough by then. We're just planning on having some like creators there, probably some local talent. We haven't nailed anything down yet, but I mean, yeah, it's just going to be like sort of a mini gala event. It's going to be, come on down. Might be. I actually have no idea what we have planned. That's the best part of this.
Just come on down. We'll play it by ear.
Besides having some creators in here,
Corey looks at me and he's like, "I'll handle this. I have no idea what's happening."
Yeah, now he actually has to handle it.
In the afternoon, we're gonna have some creators in, and then in the evening, when the sun goes down, it's basically going to be a party.
Okay, so what time
It'll
is
be a party in the comic book store. We might make some sangria and keep it in the back, card you, all that fun sort of thing. But that's kind of what the plan is so far.
When and what time is all this happening?
Creators will be signing between say 2 and 5, and then around 6 you will switch over and begin the social.
And Two Cats afterwards starts.
So you'll turn the lights down and. Then it'll become
get some Barry White going on the radio.
Two Cats Comic Books. Yeah, and also I think it's in April. Is it? Everybody knows the big event this year is going to be Avengers versus X-Men. You guys are going to be involved in that. Talk about that.
Oh dear. We're involved in it. We're signed up. We've got a little bit of swag going on right now. That's one of Marvel's big pushes that they're looking forward to doing this year. So there are different levels of involvement, and we're still kind of like narrowing in on what ours is going to be, but we're definitely going to be involved with that event.
Don't feel too bad. You're not the only ones. I've talked to other comic book stores owners across the country, and they're not too sure what they're doing either. So you're not the only ones.
Yeah.
We're going to host a superhero battle. They're going to fight right in front of the store.
Cyclops is going to throw down with Captain America. Like, what do you want from us?
not the characters, the actual people.
Oh yeah, we're going to put two of our employees in like a Captain America and a Cyclops.
Actually,
to the death mostly.
No, I was thinking, you know what? You should have the customers cosplay there, and go at it.
I think people who don't even like comic books
just throw down.
Yeah, we'll set up an octagon trademarked by the Zuffa Corporation.
Yeah, so that will be happening in I think it's April, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in May, big event. We always take part in it. Free Comic Book Day. What are you guys gonna planning, or have you not even planned that far yet?
In the spirit of combat, I'm hoping, among other things, we'll hope to have some creators back in the store again. But we're also going to, we've talked to the 501st Garrison about making an appearance. So we're going to try to get some stormtroopers in here to keep the crumb snatchers at bay.
Okay.
We'll have stormtroopers guard the comics and all that other fun stuff. So we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, so buy them. Don't use the 5-finger discount.
Yeah, exactly. Some comic books are free, but you might have to go through a couple of stormtroopers to get to them.
Yeah. Have you guys ever taken part yourselves? Have you ever gone to free comic book days at other comic book stores?
Yeah, we had a free comic book day at things.
Okay, so you know the craziness that happens. So you guys are ready for that.
That store was downtown. There's
That's what the stormtroopers are for.
Yeah, so again, that's going to happen in May. There's a big movie coming out that weekend, The Avengers. You guys may have heard of it.
A little indie flick.
Yeah, I heard about it.
It's really great that those kids finally got that movie together.
Yeah, after the Kickstarter campaign and everything. Used the iPhone to film it.
You can do a lot with a credit card and a camera.
Yeah, exactly. It's Christian and Corey, Two Cats Comic Book Store, 320 West Portal Avenue in San Francisco. TwoCatsComicBookStore.com is the website. Go to our link section. It's all on there, all in one place for you. The Facebook, everything, Twitter, everything is all on there. You can follow the guys and everything that they're doing at the store. You know what? Now that we have both of you guys on, let me make something. Let me make an announcement.
All right.
Where's our producer?
Pregnant? Is it mine?
Not anymore. I took the pill. No, but producer Damien. Producer Damien.
Yes, sir.
You're here.
Violet's here.
We're missing
Hi.
Romo, but that's all right. We're going to get rid of him anyway.
Romo's never here now.
You see how fun these guys are?
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm thinking?
What's
What?
that?
Let's make him the official Geek Speak Show comic book store.
Whoa.
That sounds
Whoa. Whoa.
Which means...
That's powerful.
Which means...
I've got a little tear in my eye.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what it means. I was waiting for the producer to jump in.
We are blessed with unholy and unimaginable powers.
Hey guys, I'm over here getting a little teared up, man. So
a little teared up. You might need a box of tissues.
Probably that sandwich you're eating there. A lot of onions. No, but they are fun. You guys, again, go to our YouTube page. That we did it. We met them at Image. Ironically, we had to go all the way across the bay to meet a store that's right here in San Francisco. But now that we do, I do like them. There's a lot of comic book stores here, but they're fun. They're geeks like us. They know comic books. They go in there, ask them for, and matter of fact, when was it, Monday or whenever we went?
it was Monday
this
that
week,
we went. Yeah,
you were having a conversation with everybody there about Walking Dead, and I believe it was one of you two gentlemen that we were discussing whose team we're on, Team Shame or Team Rick. And
yeah.
That was Corey. I was at home.
Yeah, Corey.
I think that was Aaron. I think that was one of our employees.
Yeah, it was Aaron and it was Callie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you guys, all of you guys go there again. It's 320 West Portal Avenue in San Francisco. Very cool store, and it honestly reminds me a lot of the comic book stores I used to go to. That's probably why I liked it a lot. Like, when we go to Joe Field's store, a good friend of ours in Concord, his store reminds me. The nostalgia comes back. So does you guys' store, Two Cats Comic Book Store. So here in San Francisco, seriously, I'm gonna make it the official Geek Speak Show comic book store, and what that means is we're probably gonna do a lot of special events with you guys. We'll help you out. Get some artists or stuff signing in there. We'll help you out with anything you need with Free Comic Book Day, things like that. Maybe. Not announcing anything officially yet, but maybe we can do some shows there, do some video shows from there.
What?
Yeah, you over there. That means work for you, Producer Damon. But we can bring guests in there, and that brings people in the store.
Yeah.
So start hitting the gym harder.
Yeah. We'll bring our makeup and wardrobe people. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So again, it's Christian and Corey, Two Cats Comic Book Store, San Francisco, 320 West Portal Avenue. They've been open. You guys have been open since November, right?
November 1st.
Yeah, November 1st. So pretty brand new. They're still in diapers. But March 31st, they'll be 21 and over. They'll be legal. And when was it when we turn the lights down and you can drink and do whatever you want? The mix and mingle for the grand opening?
The signings will be until, say, 4 or 5, and then the mix and mingle will be at, 6.
And then everybody that's underage, get out of here. It's our turn now. The grown-ups play
exactly.
now.
Well, we have a back room that's ideal for socializing in and exclusionary activity.
You scared me there for a second. I was wondering where you were going with it. We got a back room. And I was wondering what the next part was going to be. Like, wait a minute.
You want to see what happens when the cameras go off.
Oh. No, but again, Two Cats Comic Book Store. Check our Facebook page. We'll just talk about I can't talk now. Talk about him on the show and just plug him as much as we can. Get him all the help we can out there. So thanks for coming on, you guys. You know you're welcome anytime.
Plug, real quick.
Are we getting plugged in the back room?
I think so. But we've got a Magic tournament coming up this Friday, and then next week on Saturday, we've got a Risk Legacy tournament. These things have been huge hits. We have practically had to turn people away. So come on down, sign up. You might walk away with a Risk Legacy board.
What time does all this start?
The Risk Legacy next weekend, the 10th. On Saturday the 10th, starts at 2 p.m.
And you guys put all this stuff on the on your Facebook page, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so just check on there. And again, just go to our link section. Everything is on there. Follow them. What do you call it? Friend them, fan them, whatever it is now.
Yep.
Can't keep up with all this social stuff now.
Love us.
Yes. Show them some love. So, Christian, Corey, you see how fun they are. Go there, say hi. Tell them you heard them on the Geek Speak show. And like I said, you guys are welcome back anytime. Plus, we'll be doing a lot of stuff with you, so you'll probably hear them on a pretty regular basis, too.
Awesome. Sounds great, dude. Thanks.
Yeah, so thanks for coming on, guys, and we will talk to you later.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Later.
The Geek Speak Show will be right back.
The Geek Speak Show can be found on the web at thegeekspeakshow.com. Learn more about Henry and Romo. Find links to the guests, content providers, sponsors, and more. You'll also find the Geek Speak Show book club and links to the show's social pages. Oh yeah, the contest page is there too. I mean, you want free stuff, right? Go to thegeekspeakshow.com and mark it on your browser. You'll thank us later. Thegeekspeakshow.com, the official page of the Geek Speak Show.
Now back to the Geek Speak Show.
Hey, so we have a store now.
Yes.
Two Cats Comic Book Store.
Which you can also find online.
Yeah. Felt like William Shatner doing that. Two Comics Book Store. Two Cats Comic Book Store, 320 West Portal Avenue in San Francisco. TwoCatsComicBookStore.com. Spell it all out. You don't need the number 2 or anything fancy like that. It's all on there. You heard them. They're fun. Christian and Corey, and they have some other bunch of other real geeks working there. You go in there, especially if you've never read a comic book in your life or a graphic novel, go in there, talk to Corey, talk to Christian, or anybody there, and just say, hey, I want to read comic books. Which one should I start with?
Or you can go play Pokemon cards like I want to.
Exactly. It's going to be up on their Facebook page. Not only... what was it? Pokemon and Magic and all that stuff?
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! That was
it's all on there.
My childhood.
You'll find it on there. So now, let me talk to you about something.
Okay, shoot.
The other day, it happened, when was it? Last night, I think it was? I don't know. The days all running through each other. But last couple of weeks, actually, one of our content providers, really cool one, the new one for this year, GeekTyrant.com, they had an article. It was an editorial article about why is Christopher Nolan so secretive? Reason being, and honestly, I don't know if I agree with that, because I remember earlier, or actually last year, there were a lot of set pics from phones when we got our first look at some stuff from The Dark Knight Rises.
I wouldn't agree with that adjective, secretive, though.
Yeah.
I would say that when you're dealing with something as heavy as The Dark Knight, there are ways you have to go about it where you don't like blow it out of proportion and make it this like major. It's not that it's not a big blockbuster, but it's still...
No, it's a huge one.
Yeah, it is, but it holds dear to a lot of people, and he knows that he's holding a lot of responsibility for this.
Well, here's the thing about it, and honestly, I'm not talking about just these movies that we watch, the Harry Potters and all that stuff, but I'm talking about just any movie at all. Journalists, real journalists, I'm talking people like CNN and all those, they have ethics
Guidelines.
and they have rules that you follow. Everybody knows that. You learn that in J school, journalism school. However, these guys, all respect to them, because they provide our stories. They're not journalists. They're online bloggers. It's just movie blogs that they have. Should there be those kind of rules Is those kind of articles started me thinking about that. Should there be those kind of articles? Because I see a lot of like Rama Screen, he does it all the time. He talked about it on the air when he was on with us. And Collider, I'll give him this much. Collider hides it in the article. Rama Scream,
yeah,
he puts a picture of whatever the spoiler thing is or whatever like you're supposed to warn people. Hey, there's a picture of Batman dying or whatever. It doesn't happen. I'm just using it as an example. There's something like that. And then if you want to see it, you go down into the article itself. Whereas Rama, he actually puts it there, like, hey, look, guys, Batman's gonna die in the movie or whatever's gonna happen. That's what I'm saying. Is should there be I don't know, rules, I guess you call it, or guidelines for online bloggers?
I think with online blogging, though, it depends on your audience. Some people take it very seriously, where I've seen some, and they'll put spoiler alert on the title of the article, and they'll put a picture of whoever it's about, and then if you want to go check the spoiler out, go ahead. If you don't, there's a picture of that person, whatever, go to the next article.
You as a person, not as a on-air host, but as a person, when you go to these online blogs, if there's a movie you really like, for example, what's a movie you're really looking forward to this year? It doesn't have to be any geek movie, just any movie.
I'd probably still say The Dark Knight Rises.
And it's happened before, if the entire script somehow gets leaked online,
I would not read it. I wouldn't even touch it.
Even if it's got all kinds of, hey, look what we have, exclusive.
When I saw pictures of people kept trying to figure out Catwoman's costume, and it did get out, and I really didn't want to see it, but I was flipping through TV and they showed, it's Anne Hathaway, right?
Yes.
And they were showing pictures, and I wasn't like extremely disappointed, but I kind of wanted the surprise effect for when I do go watch it.
Yeah, I gotta say that I'm with you on that, because that doesn't really spoil anything if you see a costume or anything. But I'm talking about where they actually give you plot points, especially like big plot twists.
I think it really depends on whatever the audience is, though, because I wouldn't go on a site knowing that I want to figure out who dies or who, those major plot points or twists, whatever.
Yeah. Another thing you also mentioned, it kind of along the same lines. You mentioned it. We were not on the show. We were talking about it not too long ago off the air. You don't like how trailers nowadays pretty much give away the whole movie.
Yeah.
And what's the point of going to see the movie?
The trailer's supposed to get you to the theater, because once I get there, I saw this movie recently, and it was like, the trailer was amazing, but once I saw the movie, that was the movie. I just
Driven. Oh.
Yeah. I just watched the whole
that one
thing.
Had the most complaints last year. But actually, one that I did complain on the air about last year that I'm kind of changing my mind about. I like what they did. It's Paranormal Activity 3. Everybody knows the trailer. Everything you saw in the trailers, it wasn't even close to what we saw in the movie. And at first I said it was false advertising, but now I kind of like that, actually.
But you're talking about Paranormal Activity movies. I'm not a big fan of those. I don't think they're scary.
Well, a lot of people are, but
I don't think they're scary.
Doesn't matter, because a lot of people do, and it doesn't matter if they're scary or not. It just becomes an event.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is that
it is a big...
trailers should be like that, where yes, they tease you. I mean, for example, I think Romo mentioned it in his Romo report. The Avengers trailer is out. It's up on our Facebook page. You guys want to see it?
Yeah.
Yes, it gets me excited, but again, it's giving away too much.
Maybe it has to do with they're talking about, they've been talking about it last year about how theaters are, or what do you say? The movie sales aren't as high as, I guess, before, and maybe they think that they'll get more people going if you put more in the trailer.
But if you give out the whole movie, who's gonna? Why go?
I think people are still going because they think that there's more, but they just walk out disappointed because then they're like, I could have just watched the trailer in 30 seconds and figured it all out.
You remember, who Don LaFontaine is? In a World.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those trailers back then.
Those are very classic.
That helped. In a World, one man, whatever the movie was. It was a quick boom, 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 boom. There it is. Now, since Don LaFontaine passed away, nobody really does the voiceover stuff anymore. A lot of the trailers are just images. And I think because of that, they have to resort to giving you pretty much everything away. instead of having a big voice guy in a world coming from Universal Pictures, all that stuff, and just hearing that big voice, even if it's not Don LaFontaine, will get you like, hey, must be a big movie. It's got a big voice guy.
Do you think that it makes a difference whether the trailer for that specific movie or film is a higher budget compared to independent film trailers?
Nah, honestly, I've never made distinction between independent and films. It has to be a good movie. That's all for it to be enjoyed.
But do you feel like the trailers reveal less in independent films?
Yeah, sometimes because they don't have the budget for a trailer. Seriously, that's the reason why. But yeah, I do like those because they do make me want to go see independent films because it's kind of like, what is it like? Billboard? No, not really. A girl, kind of like a girl who you first meet, and you want to know more about her. Now, yeah, okay, the younger generation today, all you got to do is text each other. But before, when we didn't have nothing, when you actually have to talk to the person, you wanted to spend time with her and know about her, know her family, and all that stuff.
Or maybe it's kind of like how we talked off about the instant gratification generation, like mine.
Yeah,
and how maybe that's what the trailers are targeting.
Yeah, which goes back to the original point. You got it all right there. What's the point of going to go see it now? Going to go see the Avengers. So that's one. But really, what I wanted to talk to you about, and we kind of started getting off track here, is should there be guidelines or rules, I guess, for online bloggers? And yes, I know not all of it. Like Collider and Geek Time do a pretty good job of hiding those things. And Rama, likes putting that out there, and that's fine. That's his site. He can do whatever he wants.
I really think with online blogging, and I'm surprised I'm going to say this, I don't think there should really be guidelines because being an online blogger, you don't need much. You just need to make an account or make a blog or whatever. And it really depends, you'll get the audience you get based on what you put out there. I'm not going to go to your site if I don't like spoilers. And if I do like spoilers, then I will go to your site, Yay, he came out with it first. Yay.
So basically, I'm just old-fashioned. Because I think we mentioned it with Jamie earlier. I come from a time when Han shot first, and we got to see Star Wars. It wasn't even called Episode 4 or whatever it is. It was just called Star Wars. But I come from a time when it wasn't Don LaFontaine, but I remember the trailers for Star Wars. Coming to your universe next summer. That's what it sounded like, actually. It just became an event. Now, even TV shows do this, not just online bloggers and all that stuff, but TV shows do this all the time. I'll say this: I hate, and this is not a geeky show, but every night when I'm getting ready to watch Modern Family, like at 8:53, 55, somewhere around there, they show you a trailer, like pretty much gives away all the gags that are coming up, and by the time you watch it, like it doesn't have the same effect.
See, that I don't have a lot of experience with because being so busy nowadays, most of us are on the DVR, so I actually haven't seen any trailers like that. But that would really bug me because if I was waiting to watch, like if I was you and I loved Fringe as much as you do, and they gave away everything that you thought was great in the best episode this season, whatever, I would be pretty upset. But the thing is, because I'm so much with my
watch
DVR.
This. You want to meet our audience?
Okay.
Violet doesn't like Fringe.
Yeah.
Now your inbox is going to be inundated. You watch, I guarantee you.
But I'm just saying, if I did love a show as much as you did, like Fringe, and they gave away, because I understand that Fringe is one of those shows that does have those crazy aha moments, and if they gave those away, I would be like, why am I watching? Why am I not just watching the trailer?
In first season, it had those aha moments. Now it has the holy moments.
Same thing to me. I don't watch the show.
You should. See, like Roma, you heard in his Roma report.
Watching it.
He did the same thing with Once Upon a Time and with Grimm especially. Now look, he's coming over to the Grimm side now.
I have tried watching Fringe, and I just really didn't appreciate it. Now that we're rambling off onto Fringe, but I didn't. It just wasn't me. I understand other people do. My mom loves it. My mom would say, like you said, it had aha moments. Now it has holy moments.
Yeah. So that's all. I mean, hold on. There. Let me get off my soapbox here. Get off yours too. Oh, That is how tall you are. So that's we were talking about that. The articles on geektyrant.com. Again, this is not a knock against them. You know, we use them all the time for all the stuff we talk about here. Geektyrant.com, Collider.com, Ramascreen.com. Go on there. Go to our link section. They're all little logos on there. You can click on there and get all the news, spoiler filled or spoiler free, whatever you want. It's all on there for you. Let's you and I take a break, because I think you were getting hungry. Let's you and I take a break, and while we go get something to eat,
The Romo Report on the Geek Speak Show. Powered by Collider.com, Ramascreen.com, GeekTyrant.com, and Romo's Geek Cred. Here's Romo.
Hey guys, it's Romo. What a week of geeking out. I was at the Image Expo celebrating 20 years of Image Comics, and boy, it was fun. Comic books, action figures, cosplay girls. What more would a geek want? Not only did I buy comics, but I got to meet the artists like Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, Jim Valentino, Mark Silvestri of The Darkness, Robert Kirkman himself of The Walking Dead, and even got a chance to meet Chris Hardwick, host of The Talking Dead, which they did a live taping there. That was a lot of fun. Now, if you guys missed it, head on over to our YouTube page to see the interviews from the Image Expo. Not right now, because I want you to hear the whole report and the rest of the show. Big news! A new Avengers movie trailer just came out, and I like what I see. You get a big glimpse of the Avengers assembling and saving the city from being destroyed by the Skrulls. We see the fight between Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America. We have the Hulk saving Iron Man when he's falling. All I know is that this action-packed movie is not going to disappoint us in the summer. Another trailer I really like is G.I. Joe. I just saw the new G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation trailer, and let me just say, Snake Eyes Ram bike turning into a missile was badass. I like how the Rock is in the movie, Bruce Willis is in the movie. Now, I wasn't a big fan of G.I. Joe The Rise of the Cobra, but after watching this new trailer, I want to re-see it and play with my G.I. Joe toys, and after watching the cartoons, I mean, come on, it's G.I. Joe. So, G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation opens June 29th in the theaters, so go see it. As for TV trailers, I just saw the new trailer for Games of Thrones Season 2, and wow, I'm really excited and can't wait till April 1st at 9 p.m. to see this war on HBO. Now, my show Fringe, best episode of the season. So many answers revealed. Finally, I know who the observers are, where do they come from, who September is, how Peter went inside the observer's September's mind, and how Nina Sharp and David Robert Jones are working together. Peter Bishop leaving Olivia to find his Olivia. I mean, there were so many plots that were it's like stew, you know? It keeps on churning every week. You just want more. But this is the best sci-fi soap opera ever. Sorry, X-Files. Now, I said I would never watch this show because it's on during Fringe, but I'm starting to like Grimm. It's a fairy tale of the week thing, and I'm getting to dig it, especially this week's Gladiator Lowen episode. I mean, come on, an underground creature fight club? How cool is that? Finally, what we've all been waiting for in The Walking Dead, Rick versus Shane. It was like Wolverine and Sabretooth ready to fight. Hey, Shane, next time, don't tell Rick he can't keep anyone safe or you'll get your ass kicked again. So just when the fight was getting good, walkers have to crash the party. Man, damn those walkers. They ruin everything. Now, after this episode, I am Team Rick all the way. However, Rick and Shane, don't bring a knife to a zombie fight next time, alright? Use a gun and run. But the best scene of the night was Rick's 3 zombie headshot kill. I mean, come on, that was cool. So, that's it for this week. I'll let you know what catches my eye on next week's report. So until then, see ya.
The Romo Report. Powered by Collider.com, Ramascreen.com, GeekTyrant.com, and Romo's Geek Cred. And now here's the Geek Speak Show Book Club. Here's Henry and Romo.
Now that was Romo just a second ago. I'm Henry, the Geek Speak Show Book Club. Violet is actually just gonna sit over there and eat her food, so that's okay. So I got a book this week, and it's I guess because of all the Image Expo stuff that we were doing, and we met Corey and Christian from the Two Cats comic book store here in San Francisco. I guess that just got me in a comics kind of mood. Comics, not comic, not comedian. Comics kind of mood. And my pick for this week is The Marvel Vault by Roy Thomas and Peter Sanderson, published by Running Press. This is pretty much the story of Marvel Comics. And in pictures and in memorabilia, you open it up, and it's got the story of Marvel Comics, even before it was Marvel Comics. It tells you when the hiring of one Stan Lee Lieber, which we all know as the Man, Stan the Man now, Stan Lee. It shows you, doesn't put him in there, of course, but it just shows you the covers of Amazing Fantasy number 15, which was Spidey's first appearance. Fantastic Four number 1. A lot of Marvel history is in here, and it doesn't just touch on Spidey, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Iron Man. It doesn't just touch on them. It actually touches on where it came from, how the comic book company that almost didn't make it became one of the biggest and most powerful comics publishers in the history of comic books. So again, that is called The Marvel Vault by Roy Thomas and Peter Sanderson, published by Running Press. You can find it up on the book club section on the website. And don't forget, we can take your suggestions also. Books at thegeekspeakshow.com. Books at thegeekspeakshow.com. Has to be sci-fi, fantasy, horror, mashup of those. Could be biography, but as long as somebody like Stan Lee, George Lucas, or Steven Spielberg, anybody like that, we will feature it. And if possible, we will also talk to the author. So again, it's books at thegeekspeakshow.com, books at thegeekspeakshow.com. Send us some book suggestions, and you will hear your book on the Geek Speak Book Club.
The Geek Speak Show will be back in a moment.
Tell the world about that great book you just finished reading or read when you were younger. Send an email to books at thegeekspeakshow.com, and your book will be featured on the weekly book club segment. Just a few rules. 1. The book must be in the sci-fi, horror, or fantasy genre, or a mashup of those. 2. Biographies are okay, as long as it's relevant to geek culture. George Lucas, Stan Lee, Steve Jobs, etc., etc. 3. No comic books, but graphic novels are okay. 4. You must have read the book and loved it. Don't suggest a book just because my friend's cousin, sister's boyfriend's dad said it was good. And that's it. Send your suggestions to books at thegeekspeakshow.com, and you might hear your book mentioned on next week's show. If possible, we might even have the writer on to talk about the book. Books at thegeekspeakshow.com to have your book featured on the Geek Speak Show Book Club.
We're back on the Geek Speak Show. Here's Henry and Romo.
You remember those? Yeah? No? Maybe? Transformers cartoons? Oh, no, I played with the toys. I never watched Transformers cartoons. Hey! Hi! How you doing?
Hi.
Glad you stopped by. The Geek Speak Show, that's what you're listening to. So, press release, looking at it here, all of them, all 3 of them. Yes, even the 4th one, the Crystal Skull one. But all the Indiana Jones, all the good ones. They're coming to Blu-ray fall 2012. The press release just came out. So, Indy has a name. HD in Blu-ray. So, again, thanks to Jamie Benning, director of Raiding the Lost Ark. Finally completed 2.5 hours up on our Facebook page and on filmumentary.com. And Christian and Corey, you heard how fun they were. And again, major announcement, they're officially our official, I get $1 every time I say official, they're officially the new Geek Speak Show comic book store here in San Francisco. Two Cats Comic Book Store, 320 West Portal Avenue, 94127 if you want to put it in your GPS. Do they still need that? Kind of GPS?
No.
Kind of like that. What's that thing called? The new iPhones that you talked to and said, hey, where's Two Cats Comic? Yeah, that thing. Where's Two Cats Comic Book Store? 320 West Portal Avenue.
Well, it's girl voice, but yeah.
Well, I can't, no matter how tight my underwear is, I can't do a girl's voice. TwoCatsComicBookStore.com is the website. You just spell it all out. It'll go right there. Or just, again, go to our links section. So, that was the normal show. You ready?
Yes, I am.
You've been talking about this every break we take. It's right in front of you. What do you want to do? What do you want to see at WonderCon?
I want to go see Capcom,
Captain Convention?
Sorry. And womanthology looks. I don't know. These things are different. I've never seen this stuff before. So, and then
Does it have anything to do with the fact that you're a woman?
Yes, and female and feminism looks interesting.
And you're a female too.
Yes, I am. All these things about girls.
Kind of easy to tell that about you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. What else besides those? Who are you interested in? There's some special guests there. Who are you interested in seeing? Anybody, if anybody.
It was my first time, so I'm kind of like up for anything.
Yeah, I think on the way back you're going to sleep the whole way because you're just going to be exhausted.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that.
But we'll definitely do a lot of video interviews with some people out there. Marvel will be there. They'll have a big presence there. There will be you and I were talking about this again during the break. Resident Evil, the movie, not the video game. Well, the video game too. Resident Evil 6 will be there with the Capcom booth, but Mila Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson will be there. They will like last year at WonderCon. They premiered the trailer. I have a feeling they're going to premiere a little bit more than the trailer, but that's just me. That's just me. I'm not saying anything. What else? Yeah, that's what we're going to look for. But next 2 weeks, we're going to do the warm-up to WonderCon.
Yep.
We're not going to lead you in stretches or anything. What that means is we're going to talk to everybody that's going to be there. Exhibitors. What do you call them? Panelists, panelers.
People that are say we're going to talk to people on the panel.
Yeah, that will be there. Again, we're going to get Jeff Loeb on, see if he'll give us a little tease about what they're going to show there. Two big ones. One coming to Disney XD. I think you all know what it is. And the other is a big major event in the Marvel Comics universe happening this summer. We talked about it with Christian and Corey, so we kind of hinted at what it is. Who else is going to... Oh, a lot of the movies. I got to say, though, and we'll talk to David Glanzer. It's not WonderCon without our annual visit with and talk with David Glanzer. He'll come on, and I got to ask him this. I asked him last year, but this year more than ever. The WonderCon doesn't have that much Hollywood stuff. And again, nothing wrong with it, but there's no Avengers anywhere there. There's no Dark Knight anywhere there.
Yep.
You would have loved this because I think this is how she came on to be our geek girl. You love Christopher Nolan, his movies.
I do.
Couple of years ago, last year, when was Inception? I don't even know what year this is now, but whatever year Inception was.
Yes.
Warner Brothers was going to have a surprise guest, and we figured it was going to be this guy right here. Dan, we have posters here. Dan Radcliffe, because it was the last Harry Potter. Yes. It wasn't. They trotted out surprise Christopher Nolan to talk to us about Inception.
He's like my idol.
Yeah, so the who knows what they're going to be. Some 20th Century Fox says that they have some surprise guests. What's coming up in 20th Century Fox besides Star Wars? I don't think George Lucas is going to be out there, especially now after he spit on all of us and said, "Hey, no, Han didn't shoot first. It was because of the yeah." So whatever they have, Battleship will be there. Okay. Yeah, move on. So what else will be there? Yeah, we mentioned Resident Evil.
Let's hope I can handle that little extra if they show it.
Oh, special guest Will Wheaton. He'll be there also. I want to talk to him, and everybody talks to him about being Wesley Crusher on Star Trek Next Generation and the Big Bang Theory and all those things. I want to talk to him
about
his role in my favorite movie of all time. No, he wasn't Luke Skywalker. It was Gordy LaChance in Stand By Me. It's my favorite movie. So we'll go back in time. Rod Roddenberry also is going to be there. Mr. Diablo, and they'll come on the show, and you guys will get ready. If you haven't gotten your tickets, listen to those shows. The next 2 shows coming up will get you excited. And go to wondercon.org. It's up in our link section somewhere, I think. Producer Damien, looking at you, put it up there. And then it will be up there. So go on up there, get your pretty inexpensive, I should say. Not cheap, but they're very inexpensive for what you get. $40 online, $50 at the door, but $40 online if you get it now.
For 3 days.
Yes. Well worth it, I think. So, and yes, I know, Anaheim, but we'll talk to David Glanzer when he comes on, and we'll ask him if they are coming back to San Francisco. They left my con in San Francisco. So there you go. That's the show. Last normal show. Also, let you guys know in a couple of weeks, when the week of WonderCon, we are going to go on our mid-season break. Hey, French can do it. They're going on a 4-week break, so why not us? So we're going to take a little break, relax, because we're going to be tired after WonderCon. I know you are. It's going to be the first one. And you guys will get to see all the videos. You get to see Violet during her first time. That sounded wrong, but you know what I mean. Her first convention. You'll get to see her be starstruck when she meets, surprise guest. We won't tell her who it is because then it wouldn't be a surprise. So all that will be on our YouTube page. You ready?
Yes, I am.
She can start packing now. She's ready to go shop, actually. Is what she's
I'm like down to I don't even know if I should bring like an extra suitcase.
And that's just for the stuff she's going to buy.
Yeah, I know.
Again, next 2 weeks, we're going to do the warm-up to WonderCon. You're going to hear everybody that's going to be at WonderCon, so be here for that. Say bye, Violet.
See ya.
Bye, Violet.
That's it for this week. Come back next week for an all-new episode of The Geek Speak Show. In the meantime, follow them on Twitter, find them on Facebook, subscribe in iTunes, and listen to past shows and special features on the Geek Speak Show YouTube page. YouTube.com/GeekSpeakVideos. We'll see you next week. Tell your friends about the Geek Speak Show.